lighting's a little weird. Whatever. This is just a quick unboxing clip so I could capture my initial reaction to receiving the Kell Knives Taylor's Ridge fixed blade knife. I ordered this a little over a week ago. I actually got a phone call from Grant at Kell Knives who let me know that they were having to wait on some of the black screws that I ordered to pair with the orange scales that I got for this knife. It should come with some blue scales on it. Anyway, definitely appreciated the excellent communication from Kell Knives and the personal touch by Grant. I appreciated at least letting me know, like, hey, something's going to be different about your order, but not to worry, we're going to take care of it. That was just super nice. When you spend, a couple $100 on a knife, even if it's not custom, even if it's a production run, you still expect a certain level of quality and attention. And I felt good hearing from them before I'd even gotten my knife, just to let me know, hey, expect something a little bit different, but your original order is still going to be fulfilled. So anyway, it made a difference to me knowing that I could look forward to expecting this still. This is the Pharaoh EDC Titanium Khopesh. Just a little opener tool. It's got sort of it's brought to a point, but there's not really an edge to it. It's not sharp enough to break skin. Just a nifty little tape popper, box opener, scraper, pry bar, whatever you can use it for. I've managed to use this a bunch. I've flame finished this one myself with a torch, and I've posted some of the work I do with the flame finishing on my Instagram at EDCDsNuts. So anyway, I figured I'd finish opening up this box and take a look at the Kell knife Taylor's Ridge. Oh wow, okay. This is actually totally cool. So it does take some doing. Mind you, I'm trying not to knock this camera over. Hey, oh yeah. There's some foam in there into which this is packed. There's our blade. Replacement scales. These are the older black screws. They will have some newer ones. And it wouldn't be complete without a business card and a Kell Knives sticker. That's awesome. Right away, I'm super impressed with the packaging. Who cares about the packaging? It's the knife that's important. There are so many knife makers that spend good money on packaging their knives well, and while it's appreciated, I almost feel like, gosh, I wonder how much you'd save by just putting it in a cardboard box and shipping it. But it definitely gives it a nice professional touch. This thing is hefty. Right away, I noticed the weight. Let's take a look. Ooh, nice and solid on the KYDEX. Wow, look at that. Almost a rain-swept finish on this blade. Absolutely gorgeous. Feels amazing. These are coated in nickel boron, and I tell you, it feels as though, I'm sure there's some oil on this blade, as you might be able to tell, but it just feels so slick, and it is razor sharp, just raking my skin across the bottom of the blade there. It's extremely sharp. Nice thick blade stock. I love this big finger guard. You can really get a good grip. Nice full 4-finger grip. Well, I don't know, maybe 3.5, but the way it curves up, the way the handle is sort of swept up here at the back, your pinky wants to wrap right around and catch that very tip there. I'm a big fan of the silver screws on this with these blue grips. And Kell knives, these are the Airman G10 handles. And that's just referring to this blue and black layered G10 color scheme. But wow, what an excellent, strong, sturdy, gorgeous fixed blade. This is the Taylor's Ridge knife. It was designed as a, I believe it started out, at least in concept, as a skinner, but this is going to be a perfect EDC, camp, multi-purpose, multiple use kind of knife. Snazzy. And the KYDEX sheath. Wow. Great lockup. No rattle. All you're hearing is my Band-Aid on the grips. And it's a hefty knife. You've got a thick piece of steel, Full-tang construction. Really comfortable. I noticed there's no jimping on the top, but there's so much real estate for your thumb to land on. The spine is not rough, but it is finished with a 90-degree. I would expect you could throw a spark on a Pharaoh rod if you were pressed to. I really like these cutouts in the G10 handles. They make for excellent positive grip. The knife isn't going anywhere in my hand thanks to this large finger guard, but also because this handle fills the hand, the curvature to it gently matches that of my palm. You see this line here goes right into that meat of my hand. And yeah, this is a comfortable, cozy grip. These small cutouts in the G10, they create no hot spots. And if anything, they just give it an extra sort of a tactile sensation as you're moving and handling the knife. And look at the texturing on this G10. It looks smooth, but it's not slippery. It is stippling. I don't know if they call that stippling, but it has this sort of almost knurled, but not quite knurled, just enough of a, maybe like a traction kind of a grip to it. But it feels super functional, definitely grippy. Even if this was wet, you know, this grip is going to provide enough traction. Even if it was slicked, your hand's not going to go anywhere on this handle. Feels totally natural, totally comfortable. And you've got a nice, thick, solid blade to do any types of cutting. One thing I noticed, and one thing that Kell has talked about in a number of his videos, his video demonstrations, he talks about the balance point of the knife being right in the very center. And honestly, like when I'm holding this, if I take away all my other fingers, you can see it rests right on that finger guard, right in the very center of the blade. So it is, you know, I've only handled this for a couple of minutes, but right away I'm impressed by all of the aspects of the craftsmanship, but also the design and the thoughtful consideration that went into how the knife is going to handle and carry. If you watch Kell's video demonstrations of some of his knives, he flips them around and shows you how they move right on that balance point. I've noticed, like, when I'm carrying the White River Knives backpacker, the Backpacker Pro, the M1, whatever it's called. That knife with the scales on it, with the G10 scales, it wants to rock back in your hand. The balance point is, way back on the handle because of how substantial the handle is compared to the thin, lightweight drop point blade. But in this case, I take the rest of my fingers away and I can pretty much handle the knife right there. I mean, that's the axis on which it wants to move. And that's nice because you can count on a good balance in your hand. If you have to reposition your fingers or adjust your grip, it's sort of distracting when a knife wants to rock backwards. So it's nice to have one that's totally perfectly balanced. And it really is. I mean, it just hangs there right on that index finger in that finger guard. I'm absolutely impressed with this and excited to carry it and see what I think. This is the Kell Knives Taylor's Ridge.